Welcome back, World of Warcraft fans, to another week of Casual Encounters. This is episode 7.1. Happy to have you back. As I mentioned last week, we didn't get our level 90 boost yet, so I was a little disappointed. But one thing that sort of came out of it was, for a split second, I don't know how long it was, but for a very, very, very short time, the shop had the buy a level 90 feature in it. Put there by, accident. Now, I don't know if it was really done by accident. Did they put it out there on purpose so that people would see the price and then they get reaction to it? Who knows? That's conspiracy theory. Smart idea if they did, to be honest with you. They knew people would see it. If that is the case, I mean, obviously they knew people would see it because, there's like millions of people watching this stuff, probably trying to log on every second, seeing if they're getting their level 90 or whatever. So when they saw it, two people took screenshots, and yeah, it was there for a few seconds, and it was $60. So this, well, set fire to the internet, right? Everybody's freaking out, one way or the other. Either a lot of people are like, oh my god, that's too expensive, and and then a lot of what I saw, a lot of remarks I saw were good. It should have been more. It should have been, it's a good price, this and that and the other thing. Some people were like counting, by the hour. Some people were, how long does it take to level up a 90? Whatever. There was so many different things, and I think everybody has to remember that the whole reason that they're doing this level 90 boost thing, right, is so that people can play with their friends. So if you come back, obviously they want to bring people back. They want to get people into the game. So if you haven't played since Burning Crusade and all you have is level 70, you don't want to level up through all those different expansions. And you want to play with your friends. You want to get into that end content. And guess what? It only takes one character to do that. One toon is all you need to do that. I mean, come on. It takes longer to gear level 90 up for raiding than it does to level up to 90, probably, for most people. Well, for a lot of people. I mean, depending on how much you play, obviously. If you're really, really, really casual, then maybe not, because, if you only play a very tiny bit, obviously leveling is going to take a while. And but if you play a lot, then leveling might go faster, because if you're gearing up, then you're waiting for, you're waiting for resets. You're waiting, you're playing out everything, and you're waiting for your resets, and you can't get as much gear as you want to play. You can't really grind out gear, except for maybe the Timeless Isle stuff. Heroics, no, because it's 463, so you're not going to gear out heroic stuff. You're not going to grind 463 gear, especially if you're getting 43 gear out of it, right? So yeah, so I really, if you want to have many characters boosted to level 90, it's going to cost you. That's it. That's not what it's for. It isn't there to make leveling easier for people who want to have multiple toons. It's there so that you can have that one character that you can play with your friends who are already at level 90. That's the whole point of it. So, there's already been a lot of griping over the fact that it exists at all. The fact people who have worked to get their level 90s, whatever, they don't like this. They obviously they think that it's just going to bring in a bunch of people who don't know how to play the characters and all that stuff. And I've talked about all this in the past. But look, the $60, man. The thing is, if you pay $60, at least most of us who $60 is a good chunk of change. Obviously, if you're really got tons of money, you don't care. But for most people, $60 is a good chunk of change, and I think if you put down $60 on a character, you're going to take it seriously enough. You're not just going to pay 60 bucks and then just let it, just don't do much with it, or just, go waste people's time by screwing up LFR or whatever. I don't think you do that. If you're going to put 60 bucks down, I think you're probably pretty serious about having that character. And you don't even need to put down $60. All you got to do is get that pre-order, which you're going to buy the game anyway, most likely, Warlords of Draenor. So when the pre-purchase comes, you buy it, you get a free one, and you can have that level 90 right off the bat. Like I've mentioned, I leveled up a Paladin to level 60 so I can get the professions boosted along with it. I'm doing this because our guild has like one main tank who is a druid. I also have a druid, a resto druid, whose secondary spec is a tank. And I don't really want to have druid because having to, I don't want to take her loot. I don't want to go in there with my druid and have to not let her have to split loot with her. Either we're just going to get loot at half the speed, or I'm going to take from her. Or if I give her everything, I'm not going to be able to gear up my own. So I level the pally up, and hopefully when we can get things going, some good 10-man going, and I'll be on my pally. Unless something happens, maybe someone else, maybe, who knows, maybe we'll get someone else. But at least I'll have it. The whole point is that I want to have that option. So that's my reason, right? So I have my main mage who can DPS. I have my druid who can heal, can tank if need be. But I'd rather have that paladin tank, plate-wearing tank, to counter my other druid main tank in my guild. So yeah, I mean, if you want to experiment, if that's your prerogative, if you want to check out every single freaking class, man, well, level them up or pay the 60 bucks. That's all I gotta say. And like I said, there could be that possibility of all they want to do is test the water, see what people think about that $60, and if there's a big backlash, maybe they'll drop it 10 bucks, maybe they'll drop it 20. But honestly, from the feedback that I've seen, I think there's more people that like it being expensive. At least people who say so. In the comments I've seen in certain forums. So I don't know. Maybe the general player base who hasn't heard about it yet, maybe because they didn't see it and they don't check out, they don't check out the World of Warcraft news and stuff. Maybe they're going to be upset when it comes out. I don't know. Maybe there'll be more people who are upset about it because all they want to do is just skip all the leveling and try out all these different tunes at level 90. But that's not why Blizzard is doing this. They're doing this so you can play with your friends. Or maybe you just want that one extra character that you've been missing, that you want to try out, that you've been thinking about. And you know what? You only need one for that. And there's no point in having all kinds of tunes that you have to gear up. And like I said, if you do have that time, just level them. Just level them up yourself, or pay the 60 bucks. That's your choice. It's $60 in Blizzard's pocket. That's going to help with development. I don't mind if you want to pay $60. And I think anybody who's paying $60 will take their character pretty seriously, I think. So that's what I think about that. I also want to mention, in a couple of my previous videos, I talked about, no other way to, gear up other than SOO. It's all SOO, just 4 different levels, 4 different difficulties. I mean, I wasn't 100% accurate on that. I kind of, wasn't, yes. Of course, you have the Celestials, which maybe you can get 2 pieces of gear of. And if you have the Legendary Cloak, then of course you can do Ordos. But not everybody's getting the Legendary Cloak, because I'm pretty sure that there's probably a lot of casual people out there that it's quite the grind. Could be difficult for people to get that legendary. Not everybody's going to get it. So if you don't have that legendary, then you don't have that the chance at all that Warforged gear. I mean, that's my mage got all that stuff. I was really got pretty much most of that Warforged gear off of Ordos because my my druid had the legendary, so my mage was able to take advantage of that. Now I did manage to get the legendary on my mage, so he's got it now. And but yeah, I just wanted to sort of clarify my I guess my point in the past about not having any other way to gear up, meaning there's no yes, okay, you have two bosses, that they're like a 2-minute fight or whatever, but they're that's like a, how can I say it, that's like a once a week sort of drop that you may or may not get, right? There's no there's no way like to go and grind out valor to get stuff, or there's no dungeons that you can run that can get you some that you can farm for gear or whatever. No, you just got those two bosses, maybe one if you don't have the legendary, and then it's all SOO after that. So I just wanted to sort of clear that up in case everyone's someone else might have been thinking, hey, what's this guy talking about? There's no other way to gear up other than SOO. You got this. Yeah, I know. I actually didn't. I only thought about it recently when I was looking at my mage, going, oh damn, yeah, it's true. I got all this Warforged gear from Ordos and the 553s that sets off of Celestials. So yeah, okay. There's other ways to gear up. It's that once a week thing that fight lasts for 2 minutes. So yeah, it's pretty much that. Another thing I wanted to mention, which is I heard some pretty good news that came out of some of the interviews and stuff that Blizzard was doing with for some people. I don't know if you recall, if you saw my video maybe a week or two ago about solo attunements. So I don't know, man. Someone was listening, or coincidence most likely, because no one watches these, so it doesn't matter. So yeah, so what they're doing, at least it's a good start for random heroics, and I'm not sure if they said LFR2. At least random heroics. They were definitely talking about random heroics. You know how they want to make them tougher, right? But when you have random, you never know who you're going to get. So now, if you want to queue up for a random heroic in Warlords of Draenor, you will have to have passed the silver medal in Proving Grounds. And now they said they're going to improve the Proving Grounds so that it, to balance it out better for different classes and stuff, which is very important if they're actually going to use it as a, a test. You got to make sure that it's, pretty even for everybody, right? So, but I think it's great news. Like I said, unless they go ahead with their tourist attraction mode for LFR, I think they should do it for that too. I think anything that you can randomly go into, that you randomly match made, there should be some kind of test, because it's not fair to the other players who can play, who know what they're doing, to be always, sort of screwed over by players who just don't care or aren't that good or whatever. Now, you can grab one of your buddies who maybe doesn't mind carrying you through, or maybe 4 buddies that don't mind carrying you through, and that's fine. They know what they're getting into. They know you. They can take you. They can carry you through a dungeon. That's their choice, but it shouldn't be forced upon other people. And I think it's a really good move to not allow people who can pass at least a minimum test to get into certain content when you're going to be matched with random people. It should make the experience a lot better. It allows them to make dungeons, heroic dungeons, a little more difficult. and thus giving better rewards for them. And I think that's the big thing, right? You want to be able to give some better rewards for your heroic dungeons. But in order for it to be worth anything, you gotta make them tough enough to be worth it. And I've mentioned this before as well. I like the idea of difficulty. I just hope that they're not super long. Like, if you're going to spend a long time on bosses, that's one thing. But like I said, like I mentioned in a previous episode, if you're going to spend more time on trash than on bosses, then there's something wrong with the dungeon. That's my opinion. Some people love it. I don't know. But, yeah. So anyways, I think that's pretty good news. And I hope this trend sort of continues to have these sort of single, solo prove yourself to enable, like I mentioned in my video about solo attunements. I think they're important. I would really like to see this kind of stuff to get into any dungeon, just so that people don't feel that they have to carry people. Maybe that if they can't come in, then it's if someone isn't capable of doing a certain content, at least to a minimum amount. Like I said, it's okay to carry people a little bit, but they should have at least some kind of minimum capability, so that people don't feel that oh, I gotta bring this person through. Have those different do like they do with the LFR. Have the different difficulties so that they can see content. We want everybody to see everything. I think that's very important. People pay their $15 a month. People pay for the game just like everybody else. They should see the content regardless. But when it comes to certain levels of content, maybe they do need to have some kind of solo sort of attunement to prove yourself, so that you're not holding other people back. That's my opinion. And yeah, it kind of would suck for people who have no, really just want to carry people through. Maybe they want to gear up their friends for some even higher content. But I don't know. It's really tough. That's a tough one. You know what I mean? So, anywho, that's about it for today. Hopefully, when I wake up in the morning, I'll have my level 90. We'll have pre-orders. Hoping. They said it's coming soon. Let's hope this is it. Anytime you want to contact me, just you can email me at wowonmymind at gmail.com. Better yet, leave comments, and please subscribe. Very important. Leave comments and subscribe. Comments are really, really important, because at least I know someone's watching. Alrighty, so take care all, have fun playing World of Warcraft, and see you on the other side.